Hello everyone, today is literally a huge day because we're going to be opening up this enormous Pokemon trading card game classic collection box. When this thing came out, it retailed for nearly $400 US. I managed to pick this one up from my local game store for around $250, which is about 30% off, so not a bad deal. Alright, let's go ahead and take off this insanely shiny plastic so we can actually see what we're working with here. Alright, there we go, plastic off. And this thing is really huge. Just want to take one of my Elite Trainer boxes for comparison. This thing is about the size of, 20 trainer boxes. But as you'll see, it's not going to be all that impressive, because if we take a look at the back here, the main draw is going to be this enormous game board that is dual-sided for 2-player. Now this thing doesn't come with any actual packs, but it does come with 3 60-card decks already built of Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise themed. It's classic. Nice come 3 deck boxes to match those, 3 sets of card sleeves to match those. 1 2-player game board, 1 toolbox case with randomizer, 2 sets of damage counter cones, and 2 sets of condition markers that'll come in this nice tray. Alright, so let's get to opening this thing. Looks like there's an outer box with the inner box inside. I've already went ahead and cut the tape on the edges here, so let's go ahead and get the outer box open. Alright, here's our box within a box. Not really sure how this thing is packaged. Pull the whole thing out here. So now we've got a thick outer box. We've got the inner box. Looks like it's actually just a sleeve. And we've also got a box that was on the side as well. Pretty heavy. Let's go ahead and take this big sleeve off first. Looks like the game board. Alright, so here's looks like our game board. It's got a cloth cover on it that's kind of like a stretchy fabric. I can kind of push it around a little bit, kind of feels a little velvety. It's a bit of an interesting texture. Got our bench, our active, deck, discard, prize cards on the side. Pretty standard board for Pokemon. It is also 2-sided, but it is pretty thick here, so let's go ahead and open it. It looks like it opens in half. And we got a bunch of stuff on the inside. Alright, it looks like actually our 3 decks are on the inside here. We got 3 deck boxes. Looks like they're empty to start with. We've got grass, fire, and water. Got little symbols on them. These are really thick leather, and got a nice magnetic clasp on them. They seem like they're really durable and thick. Hopefully they're big enough for a sleeved card. We'll find out here shortly. Let's take a look at this box here. Alright, looks like this box is our combination dice tray and damage counters and poison and burn markers, of course. Looks like it's all got a bunch of packaging on it here. Alright, let's take a look at one of these damage counters. They are a little hard to see with the light here. So here's some 10 damage counters. They're stackable. A little conical. Feels like they're made of metal. And they're pretty thick as well. So pretty hefty. So then I really like this design that they're all stackable and you can just stack them and pick them up from the bottom. Makes them a lot easier to move around than having like handful of dice sitting on top of your card when you're trying to, say, retreat back to the bench and you gotta move all this stuff. It's ridiculous. But this one, you can just stack them together. You got the 10s, you got the 50s, you got the 100s. You can mix and match, of course, so whatever damage you have, you can just keep stacking on top until you get knocked out or whatever. We've also got our poison and burn markers. These ones are also made out of kind of the same sort of ceramic coated metal. Here's a burn marker. I really like this as well. It's a lot better than what they've started putting in Elite Trainer boxes. The Elite Trainer boxes used to have those nice acrylic markers, and now they have like the cheap plastic ones. These are a huge step above that. Now the dice tray itself is not actually 4 dice. It actually comes with these little balls here. And I guess the intent is that you just roll it down, kind of like roulette, and even or odds, whether it's marked or not. Now this whole box itself looks like it's kind of a plastic lining, but it's actually pretty thick and hefty. It's got a shiny finish on the outside of it, as well as like the top painted in white for the lines, kind of resembling the stadium. Alright, so that's it for what's inside of the big box. Let's take a look at what's over in this side box here. It comes with a little introductory here, basically lining out that these cards are not meant for tournament play. They're not, let's say, kosher to play in a real tournament or in a real standard format. So here's our 3 decks. Suicune, Lugia, Ho-Oh. And we've got our 3 sets of card sleeves. Looks like these are not actually themed after each deck. They're just a kind of grayscale. Dark, medium, and light. You can see there. With like the stadium motif on it. Take a closer look at those in a minute. Alright, now let's open up these decks. Now these are standard decks that are the same for every classic collection. So it's going to be exactly the same if you've seen anybody else open up this classic collection. But I have not, so I've tried to keep myself spoiler free. So I have not seen what's actually inside these decks, what they're made up of. Suicune, I imagine this is going to be our Blastoise deck. So we got a bunch of really shiny energy. Oh, everything's like foil. Suicune seems a little odd with that foil. Like the foil's almost a little bit grainy. You can pick that up on camera maybe. Not quite a foil I've seen before, I think. As well as the energy cards here are also foil. Very pretty. Got psychic ones as well. Like how they're all themed after like the original base set, but with the foil added is really nice. Got a Mewtwo. So these are like classic cards that have just been redone, kind of like adjusted so they work in this format, even though they're still not ready for standard format. So you can tell the set markers are different than the original sets. So I'm just going to kind of go through these pretty quickly here because I think everybody's kind of seen what these cards are before since they're all classic cards. I'm not really going to go into a whole lot of depth, but it is really nice seeing that they're all foils. Like these 4 bills, the foil background. We've got Professor Oaks. We've got Squirtle. Everything is foil. More Tortle. Computer search. Pokeballs. Rockets admin from the Rocket set. Got some switches with the foil borders. Got Ultra Ball. More colorless energy. There's our Blastoise. Staryu, and a Starmie, Magikarp, Gyarados, Lapras. So shiny it almost looks like she's on a pile of gold. I guess that's supposed to be like a underground lake, kind of cavern area. Got Articuno, Drowsy, Hypno, Mr. Mime. That art looks different. Interesting. Lieutenant Surge's Rattata, Raticate, Kangaskhan, Boss's Orders. We got Drops in the Ocean. Interesting, that's power up specifically for Blastoise. Fisherman, Pokemon Fan Club, Rare Candy, Super Rod, and a Versus Seeker. So that's it for our Blastoise / Mewtwo deck. A Water Psychic. Suicune's also in there. It's interesting that they put Suicune at the front instead of Blastoise, since it's supposed to be a Blastoise deck. We got some other legendaries here as well. I'm guessing that this is Charizard, so this must be Venusaur. So we got a Lugia. Ooh, we got grass energies. Those are really nice. Green's my favorite color, so Shiny grass energies is right up my alley. And there's some fighting energies. Okay. Grass, fighting. Okay, here we go. Computer search. Versus Seeker. Super Rod. Ooh, Sunseed. Yeah, that's the same as the water one for Blastoise. That's for Venusaur. Got rare candies. Switch. Onyx. Bills. Those are always nice to have. Bulbasaur. Ivysaur. Computer search. Pokeball. Professor Oaks. Rockets admin again. Switch. Ultra Balls. The Colorless energies. Venusaur. Very nostalgic. There's Paris. Parasect. Scyther. Pinsir. Sandshrew. Sandslash. Hitmonlee. Hitmonchan. Doduo. Dodrio. Got Chansey. Snorlax. Boss's Order. Pokemon Fan Club. And a Pokemon Nurse. Alright, so that was our Venusaur deck with Lugia. Some ground ones in there as well, which is interesting to have with grass deck. Alright, here's our last deck. So this one starts off with Ho-Oh, Fire type. Got Fire Energies, of course. And Lightning. This is going to be a Fire Lightning deck. Interesting. Fable, Colors Energy, Computer Search, Bills. Got so many Bills now. There's 4 in each deck. Got Professor Oaks, Charmander, Charmeleon. Got another Computer Search and some Pokeballs and Rockets admins and Switches and Ultra Balls, Colorless, and there's our Charizard. Very cool. I think Charizard's a bit overrated, but this is a very nice nostalgic card. Ponyta, Rapidash, Magmar, Pikachu, classic Pikachu. We got Raichu, got Voltorb, Electrode, Zapdos, Clefairy, Dunsparce, Stantler, Miltank, Boss's Orders, Pokemon Fan Club, Rare Candies, Scorching Charcoal, so that's going to be the equivalent for Charizard, Super Rod, Super Scoop Up, and Versus Seeker. That's nice though. So there's our Charizard slash Ho-Oh slash electric deck. Some interesting combinations. I'm not sure how well these would work, especially in standard format. They probably do pretty terribly, even if they were allowed. Alright, so there's our 3 themed decks. That's all the cards that are included in this. So let's set those aside, and I want to spread out this game board and we'll take a full look at it, if I can even fit it on camera. Alright, so the answer to that is definitely no, I cannot fit it on camera. This thing is so large it hangs over the edge of the table regardless of which way I turn it. So definitely no way I'm going to get it at all. You can see it's 2-sided and we've got plenty of room for our deck, our discard, our bench, active. So much room even if you were playing doubles. This thing is also quite thick and like the cloth cover is pretty nice. It's definitely an upgrade from just playing on a regular card mat. Now, one downside is that you do have to take all the insides out. So even if you're only playing with 2 out of the 3 decks here, or if you're not playing with these decks at all and you're just using the game board, you still have to take everything out because it all fits inside of the game board itself, which is nice when it's all put away. But when you do want to take it out and use it, it does have that extra step that might be a barrier for somebody who's just wanting to play casually with their friends. Here's a shot, you can kind of see how thick it is with the 2 sides. So it sits up from the table about that much. All the sides are covered in this like in kind of a textured pleather, I want to say. One of those small details is on the edge of the board here. They've got the Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic and you can use that to figure out what side to open it from, but it doesn't really matter because as you can see when I open it here, these divots are halfway through on both sides. So whatever is in there, even if you open it up backwards, it'll just, be upside down, which is no big deal. All right, one of the last things I want to take a look at here are these card sleeves that it came with, the grayscale ones. This is the lightest color that we've got here. It's kind of somewhere in between matte and shiny. Definitely a smooth texture on it. So if you're used to like Dragon Shields, these are a little, I would say, lower quality than those. Dragon Shield mattes. They are nice with the stadium motif on them. Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic. And they have that mirror finish on the front. Very shiny. Alright, that's all we got here for today. Thanks for watching, everybody.